you're watching the Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa, reminding you that the giveaway this month is the Mystical Shaman Oracle, which is my favorite deck so far. I'm going to start with this deck, and there's been some real interesting storylines coming through in the readings lately. I mean, there was definitely some big climaxes that we hit through eclipse season, and now there's like this sort of like reassortment, you know, like of life and how things are working out, you know. If you are new to this channel, you might know that the videos on the channel are arranged according to storyline, not according to date or zodiac sign or anything like that. So like, I try to link videos that are sort of have related storylines together, like within the video, but then also in playlists. So like if there's a certain recurring storyline, so it's almost like I liken it to like a daytime soap opera, because it's just sort of like there's these recurring characters and they come and go and their stories are always evolving, and so those storylines I will put together in a playlist. Like for example, the most recent one was the playlist for the eclipse season, you know, but there's one for coronavirus, for example, that's a really prevalent one. There's one for the Minneapolis Uprising, because I'm actually from Minneapolis. So, you know, just to give you some sense of how things are sorted around here. But on the bottom of the deck, we got wind, which is interesting, because I think this was on the bottom of the deck in the last reading I did, which I'll link. But this is a card that's really ominous, because this is just sort of like a change is in the works, you know, like the times they are changing. Like the wind comes in and everything gets resorted, you know, but it's also a card of just sort of like our external world is a reflection of our internal world. So, you know, this is a challenge to yourself to like look within yourself at what is changing, or what about your perspective needs to shift to adapt to, you know, the changing circumstance, because they go together. And then we have the Beloved, the Luminous Warrior, and the Mystical Shaman. So this is really interesting because, well, the Beloved, you know, I mean, this will speak to like a love, you know, which is interesting because I think the readings in the last couple days have been sort of foreshadowing for this love that was going to be the foundation for this dynasty that's like coming online, this love. So it can signify that, but it also is just like kind of speaking to the experience of connecting with another person and becoming part of something larger than yourself. So like there's this quote from Yoko Ono, which I love, which talks about how a dream that you dream by yourself is just a dream, but a dream that you dream with someone else is reality, you know? And so this is sort of inviting you to become part of something larger than yourself, and that there's like great blessings and lessons that can come from that experience, you know? And it's interesting because then this is followed by the Luminous Warrior. So this is interesting because this typically signifies someone who's kind of become the master of their emotions, you know, and they've kind of resolved their internal conflicts so that they're able to manifest things in the external world, because they don't have like blockages in their energy, you know. It's like everything's like clear, you know, and so they realize that like everything that's going on in the external world is really like a challenge to look within yourself and whatever lesson that you need to learn so that you can overcome what's going on for you in your external world, because it's all related. So this speaks to someone who's sort of taken that journey and they've become a Jedi Knight, so to speak. You know, there is like a reading from a while ago, and it's something about a Jedi Knight, which I'm going to link here. but it's just like all about mastering your emotions, you know, and being able to channel them effectively so that you can, you know, the force will be with you, you know, instead of against you, you know. So that's this luminous warrior. And it's like when you've achieved that state, it's so beautiful because it goes like the colors again, you know, you become like the mystical shaman. And so the mystical shaman is someone who has achieved the state and they're just in a state of flow, you know. So everything that they need comes to them right in the right time. And there's like, they're living in a state of flow. So they're just like following the signs and synchronicities, and they're, you know, completely in alignment with their destiny. And that's the mystical shaman. So it's interesting because it's almost like, you know, people talk about like relationships work out when you have kind of worked out your own issues, and then you're kind of in a state where you're actually ready. You know, it's like all about timing. Like if you're at the ripe stage in your life where it's going to work out. Otherwise, you know, when you connect with someone and you have all these internal unresolved conflicts, like inevitably you're going to have to break up and like deal with that stuff. You know, it's like almost like the twin flame journey. But this is speaking to someone who's like taken that journey and now they're encountering this love, which is interesting because that really speaks to the whole message that came through in the last couple readings about the foundation for a dynasty. Because it's like when you're ready for a relationship of that level of stability is when you have overcome these obstacles with yourself. So real interesting message. I'm gonna go to the Muse Tarot to get some general or overall energies for the reading. But interestingly, at the bottom of the deck we have the 10 of Emotions, which this is like kind of like mastery of emotions, you know. It's like the 10. Oh my gosh. And I split it and it's like the 4 of Wands, which is this marriage, family, stability card. So we got the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Wands, which is like, okay, like that's like this great love that's like the foundation for this new world order, you know. But wow, this is reading is wild. Like the last several readings have been like it's like somebody's getting married, you know, but it's like a really good thing, and it's the foundation for like generations of happiness, you know. I mean, that's kind of the storyline that's been coming through, and it's just like, wow, who's this happening for, you know? This is really beautiful. I love this story. Okay, so I'm gonna stop babbling and start shuffling. Okay, wow. I'm gonna pull one more card here. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that was upside down. Okay, so we got the Knight of Emotions. So this is the Knight of Cups. So this is someone coming in with a message of love, you know, and it's like very romantic, you know. And then we have, oh my gosh, this is so wild. So we have the 2 of Inspiration, which is like the 2 of Wands in the traditional deck. And this often signifies like having to sort of like make a judgment call, like making a decision, you know, like you have to sort of choose one path, one or the other. And it's interesting because it's like this person has this telescope, so they're sort of like looking into the far off distance at like the constellations, you know. And it's just sort of like, it's almost like, I mean, you're choosing one path or the other, so you're kind of like aligning yourself with a certain like long-term destiny with this decision. Like this is obviously a decision that's going to have a big impact, you know. And then we have, that's followed by the World, which is like the end of one cycle of life and the beginning of a new cycle. So it'd be like graduating from college or getting married, or, you know, something really big like that, like, you know. And then we have the Nine of Inspiration, which again, this is crazy because if you watch, you know, I'm kind of anal about not putting the cards upside down. So when they flip out upside down, it's like, whoa, you know. But this is like the Wounded Warrior card, and this is someone who's like walked through all these difficult battles, and they've had all these these challenges, but they're beaten and they're bruised, but they're not giving up, you know. But like, it's upside down, so it's almost like the struggle, it's like they've kind of like overcome this struggle, you know, like whatever this is. And it's like there's this love coming in, they've overcome this struggle, they've mastered their emotions, and they've come into this state of flow, you know. So this is like really, I mean, this is a really good reading so far. Okay, so I'm going to the Golden Art Nouveau. Oh my gosh, at the bottom we have the Lovers. So like a deep love connection. I'm going to pull some, you know, just some more cards to get some clarity about what's going on, because this is like really, it's kind of a really good reading, you know. Oh my gosh. This is just like kind of like stepping from through a portal, you know, from like one stage of life. And I feel like that was coming out in one of the readings, either yesterday or the day before, where it's just sort of like, you know, someone who had been like single forever and they built all this stability for themselves, but they're walking through this portal into like a, you know, married life, or just a different way of being in the world, you know. It's a big transition. Okay. Oh my gosh. So at the bottom, we got the World again. So an end of one stage of life and the beginning of a new stage. We got the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. So this is like building a new foundation, you know, like you're kind of like operating from a different foundation. Like either you're going from being single to being married, or, you know, something of that magnitude. Like you're working from a different paradigm and you're like planting seeds for the future, you know. But like it's really confusing, because this is like not how you've been operating up until now, and this is like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Like, I'm used to this struggle, like, you know, this is sort of stable, like what, like I have no reference for this. And then underneath this new foundation we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is a total dynasty card, you know. Yeah, the readings from the last couple of days are really like, it's like you're changing course, you know, you're flipping the switch, and like you're going from like all this struggle to like this super stable dynasty, you know. And then we have the Judgment, which this is a reckoning, like this is karma, you know. And then we have the Ten of Swords. So this is like an end to suffering, you know. It's like really confusing, because we're ending this burden that we've been carrying around forever, and there's this like karmic reckoning, and we're building foundation and planting seeds for a whole new world order that's like not how we're used to operating, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna pull, oh my gosh, 3 cards of guidance about how we're gonna move through this energy. But this is like really big. Okay, all right. So we've got the Ace of Inspiration, the Priestess, and the Lovers. And it's crazy, because at the bottom we have the Three of Voices, which is typically a hard card of heartache. But in this deck in particular, it's sort of like a card of realignment, where it's just sort of like a reality check, where it's just like the way that you've been operating and seeing the world, like there's something not right about it, and there's a shift that's happening. You're having to adapt, you know, and like, but it's actually a good thing, because you're getting on a new train, and this actually is leading you back on course, you know. And so we're starting this brand new beginning that's super passionate, you know, and like we're manifesting, we're in tune, we're in flow, like we're in flow with the universe. And this is leading us to this deep connection, you know. Like, it's actually like, it's almost like it's time for this to happen. Like, maybe this is someone you've crossed paths with before and like the timing was off, or it clearly wasn't, you know, you're like, you didn't get it, because it's like, this seems like the right person, but like there was no way it was going to work out. Like, it was fated to like unravel. But like now it's like, it's almost like, no, it's different this time. Like, this time it's the right time, you know, because you're like at this place in your life now, and so it's gonna work, you know. Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, I'm going to sacred self-care, because the reading for July was all about crossing the bridge over troubled water into this new life. And it was just talking about how it was going to be difficult. Like, it wasn't going to be an easy transition. And so the recommendation was to really focus on yourself and self-care and taking care of yourself, so that you can manage this transition in the smoothest way possible. You know, that was sort of the July reading. So I'm going to pull from the Sacred Self-Care, see what I can get. All right. Okay. Intuition. So yeah, take time to listen to that guidance, you know, because this is not going to lead you astray. You know, listen to your gut, because there's some wisdom and guidance there for you, and it's going to lead you on the right path. All right, good luck. We'll check in soon with more messages.